Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Wherever you are in the world, welcome. You're listening to the Synthwave radio show.
You were a deceiver, I was a believer. I could never think you'd go with someone else. What a fool. Even when you like you were so revealing. Trusted and played your game for so long. So long. Taught me what it feels to be alone. Whoa, no, it's done. You're gone. You just gotta mend the pieces of my heart. Oh, you've known all along. I just need to realize you're not the one. Oh no, 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 you're not the one. I could not believe it when I found out you were playing lovers with somebody else. Her memories are fading. You treated me so wrong for so long. Taught me what it feels to be alone. Whoa, no, it's done. You're gone. And I just gotta mend the pieces of my heart. Oh, you've known all along. I just need to realize you're not the one. Oh no, 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 you're not the one. I just need to realize you're not the one. You're not the one. You're not the one. All that I could do was build a wall, waiting for my heart to become strong.
You were my world, my all, and now I take the fall. But every night I know that it was not my fault. I will stand and take control, and I will now reverse the roles. I won't be the victim anymore, 'cause I deserve to be loved.
Whoa, no, it's done. You're gone. And I just gotta mend the pieces of my heart. Oh, you've known all along. I just need to realize you're not the one. You're not the one. You're not the one. I just need to realize you're not the one.
Welcome, 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 welcome. You're listening to the Synthwave radio show with me, your host, Danny D. And joining me today, we have got a real life superstar. Welcome to the show, LAU. How are you?
Hi, Dan. How are you? I'm very well, thanks.
I'm great, thank you. Thanks so much for coming on. You've got this
Sure.
brand new album out. We've just heard a track off that. It's called Believer, and that's the name of the album, right?
Yes, that's the title track of the album. It's a song that I co-wrote with Brian Skill, who is based in Ohio, in America. He's a fantastic producer. He actually mixed and mastered my entire album as well. He's such a good producer. And we also wrote "Stunning" together. So we wrote two songs, and one was my first single, and this second track is the title of the album. So yeah, kind of an upbeat track.
Cool.
Quite fun. You know,
Yeah,
again, the whole album is about breakup
yeah.
a minute, but it's quite an upbeat, uplifting song. So yeah, I'm
Uh,
very proud.
yeah, and the release date for that I've got here is February the 12th, right?
That's right. So yeah, the
Sorry.
album comes out on February the 12th, and the deluxe version is going to have 7 fantastic remixes and a cover version of Haim that I did as well. So it's all coming out on the same day.
Cool, cool. And I'm a big fan of what you've been able to do with this album because it is very uplifting. You know, you can definitely dance to these tracks. I really like them, all
Yeah.
of them. I said to you before the show, I've listened to all the songs on the album, and they're all fantastic. But underlying that, if you listen to the lyrics, it's heartbreaking. You know, I'm like, oh my gosh, poor LAU. You know, it's amazing what
LAU.
you've done. Just want to give you a big hug. But it's
Thank you. I know.
it's such a good album. How long did it take you to produce and put it all together?
I started writing it right around the lockdown in the UK. I mean, around March, I started writing. So it was about 9 months, all in all. So it kind of feels like a baby, you know. It feels like giving birth to this thing and being reborn as a solo artist after, you know, writing for Nina for nearly a decade and drumming for other artists and doing all the stuff I've done for years and years. It was like being reborn into, well, you know, let's do my own thing now. Let's show people who I am and how I sing, and let's start singing my own songs and what I have to say. You know, let's put it out there and see if anyone connects to these emotions and this journey.
Cool. And you are very much stepping out of the shadows, because you've been around in the synthwave world for quite a while. You mentioned you've been working with Nina, and before that you were a session drummer. Can I just ask you how you got into music?
First band I had when I was like 16 years old was back in Argentina with friends from high school. We did an all-girl band, and of course I picked the drums. I was always fascinated by the drums. Anytime I would watch a band, I would stare at the drummer. That was I just had fascination with the drums. And I moved to the UK when I was 21. I did a music career here. I went to university. Well, here, I mean in London. Now I'm in Barcelona, but in Europe, in the UK. After coming out of uni, I just started touring as a session drummer. I started playing for a lot of pop stars. Back then, you know, about 20 years ago, it was very rare to have a girl drummer. It was like really special. Now it isn't, and that's great. It's great that it's not a thing anymore. It's great that it's absolutely normal. You know, no matter if you're what gender you are. But back then it was like a role that was, you know, it was pre-assumed that it should be a man playing drums or playing bass or whatever. So, but it was always as a session player. So then at the end of the day, you really don't end up with much. You know, you live the lifestyle for a little bit, but you didn't write those songs. You're not gonna get the big checks or the big recognition. It's just a show. You know, it's just a gig and a job. So.
But a great experience, I'm sure, right? And, you know, what a platform to launch all this from. So lined up next, we've got track 7 off the Believer album. It's Always on My Mind. What a track. What a track. Always on my mind, off the Believer album there by LAU. I love it. I love all the tracks on the album, LAU. Can you just tell us
Thank
again a
you.
little bit about Always on My Mind and who you work with on this one?
Sure. Yeah, sure. So we wrote this song with Ens84, who is a French producer. He's amazing. He's a big collaborator on the album. We did 6 songs for my debut album. And I liked him so much that I signed him to my label, to Aztec Records as well, because he's fantastic.
He's awesome.
He's such a nice guy to work with, super humble, and he's just so versatile. He can do anything you ask him to do. He's awesome. Um, and I wanted to have, I put a bit of timbales in there. I wanted it to have a little bit of a Gloria Estefan vibe to it, even though it's slow tempo, or sort of mid tempo. But and the lyrics are quite sad. It's about, why won't you love me back? I know you can't love me, but I can't get you out of my mind anyway. You're
Yeah.
always on my mind, no matter what I do, and how am I supposed to forget you, and all these, So yeah, the whole album is all these stages of, after going through a hard breakup, all the stages I went through, all the emotions I went through, and some songs are happier than others, hopeful, or sad, or there's all these emotions that I went through in the album, and then well, you'll see with the others, with the other songs.
Well, I just want to ask you, you mentioned earlier, obviously you're in Barcelona now, you used to be UK based. How is life in Barcelona? Is it enjoying the sun? I mean, wow, that must be great, yeah?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know if you can tell, but I'm a bit red. I was playing beach tennis all day on the beach.
Stop.
It's meant to be winter, right? And it's 20 degrees and sunny. It's incredible.
Days.
Incredible. Like I've been playing tennis all week on the beach.
I've been watching your Instagram. It looks absolutely lovely
nice.
out there.
The most beautiful sunsets. I always knew I would end up somewhere with palm trees. I just didn't know where. Because for a long time, I was planning on moving to LA. I also thought about going to Sydney because I got lots of friends in Sydney. And in the end, Barcelona was just perfect because I speak Spanish. It's only an hour and a half away from London.
Of course.
I've got my business in London. I got my house in London. I got lots of things in London. I got a brother in London. So I will be coming back loads. And London it was my home for 21 years.
Good.
So I still love it. And I want to go back, just not in winter.
Good.
I'm going to go back probably every summer.
Yeah. Don't want to come back during the winter. What a waste. Yeah.
All 2 weeks of summer.
Just the 2 weeks of summer. Yeah. Well, big shout out and much love to anybody listening in Barcelona or Spain for that matter. Welcome to the show.